Hello everyone, welcome to Auburn MPA Goes Beyond the Books. I'm your host, Chinonye Ekwujuru, a Master of Public Administration student at Auburn University. We're excited to introduce to you our new podcast series. This is a new initiative of the MPA program. The purpose of this podcast is to bridge the gap between classroom learning and real-world application. It is a learning platform where we discuss with students, graduates, and faculty on their academic journey, from personal challenges to impactful and success stories. Have you ever wondered what goes in the minds of students, the struggles, the breakthroughs that have transformed their academic journey? Join us on this podcast series to learn more. So our guest for today's podcast is Dr. Julius Adinoye. Dr. Julius, please can you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Chinonye. I am Julius. I just prefer to very simple. So Julius Adinoye. So I'm a third year Ph.D. student at Auburn University. Yeah. So I'm doing my Ph.D. in public administration and public policy. Yeah.
Thank you, Julius. You're welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And another gentleman that we have here is Harrison McDonald. Harrison, could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Harrison McDonald. I am in my last semester of the master's program here at Auburn, and I did my undergraduate here as well. And I'm planning, hoping to do my PhD here as well. Yeah. So I'm in it for the long haul here at Auburn.
Thank you so much for being in the podcast. Now, let's do some weather check before we dive into the conversation. How does it feel to be the first guest on our episode, on our podcast series?
I'm honored. I'm honored that you asked me to, and I'm glad to be here. I think this is going to be a good initiative, and I'm a fruitful initiative at that. And
we're all excited.
Yeah, I think it's good to be an icebreaker in the scene. So we are opening the space, and we are very honored to be one of the very few that we're choosing to be, pioneer of opening the podcast.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't come by chance. So it's by our experience that have, made us
I agree.
to be selected.
I agree. And how is the fall semester coming?
I would say, of course, every semester is tiring, and but we are winning at the moment.
You can say that again.
And I think the weight or the burden is not yet at its full capacity yet. So we are still, trying to make sure that things that needs to be done at the beginning of the semester are rightly put in place, because a good start, will determine how you would finish. So, yeah.
Are you teaching this semester?
No, I am not. So I'm an RA for this semester.
Oh, you're a research assistant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So for the purposes of our viewers, RA means research assistant, and TA means teaching assistant, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Harrison, are you teaching or you're researching?
I am officially a TA this semester for political theory and political economy. That got added on the week. But the professor that I'm the TA for asked me to help out with political economy as well. So 2 sections of political theory, one online, one in person, and then an in-person section of political economy. So I've doubled the students that I had last semester, which was double the students I had the first semester.
Goodness.
So I think it's around 170 students this semester. Which
you must be a great teacher.
The chances that I've gotten to lecture, I've loved it. Actually, a funny anecdote, not really a funny anecdote, but just an anecdote. The first time that I was asked to lecture, I think it was the second or third week of classes last fall. And the professor that I was under at that time just emailed me and said, "I'm not going to be there that week. Do you mind covering?" And I was like, okay. This is my first time doing this, but I guess I'll figure it out as I go. I was super nervous going into it, and especially with that professor. I don't know if anybody in the room here knows Murray Jardine.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jardine had a very particular way he taught his classes, and I loved it. I loved taking him in undergrad, and I loved his class. So I was, I had big shoes to fill for that day that I lectured on basically just the evolution of conservatism and liberalism. And
did you like it?
I did like it, and that after that because I've kind of waffled back and forth on if I want to stay in academia or if I want to pursue a PhD. And after that first lecture, I was like, I think I could do this again and again and again. I love it. So that's how teaching's going so far.
Okay, I mean, we'll have
I think to add into that, perhaps since it's first experience, so my own first experience here as well, one of the share. Was the first time I was in Auburn, my first year, my first semester, I was a TA. So it was kind of like coming as a big hit because I'm trying to fit into the system, trying to adjust, just coming, into the US, the educational system. And also here I am, I'm also being given, students to teach, but not, an entire, like as in I'm not the instructor, instructor. So I'm just like doing TA, but there was still heavy weight on me because there was we coined a term, Julius corner. So whereby 15 minutes into every lecture, of that course that I'm TAing, I have to, tell the students, because the course was, American politics in the multicultural world.
Yeah.
So I need to, do my research, on every lecture, how current trend, current turn of event relates to, the topic. Yeah. So I need to keep the student abreast with American politics, of the week. So it was initially not easy because I have to do those research alongside my own coursework as well. So but over time it kind of introduced me well and positioned me well on how to better do TA.
I mean, these are very, 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 very remarkable experiences, right? And worthy of sharing. But in the course of the podcast, we will have the opportunity to dive into these experiences and elaborate more on that. But then let me start off with you, Julius. I mean, you said you're already a doctor. Why are you getting a second doctorate degree?
Not that I said. I am already a doctor.
Oh my goodness. Okay. You are already a doctor.
Yes.
Dr. Julius.
Yes.
I mean, why getting a second doctorate degree? I mean, who does that? Did you just sleep and maybe you had a dream or an inspiration to go get a second doctorate degree?
Okay. My experience, I've always liked to, globalize, like have a touch of that local experience where I want to fit into that society. I need to whatever knowledge I'm bringing, I need to know how to impact that into that society. So from my high school days I've started teaching, so I like so I had diploma in computer science and computer engineering, and I was teaching computer, immediately after my high school. But that's by the way. So after my PhD, one of the findings is that because my research was focused on issue of insecurity, particularly in developing country, Africa. So one of the findings is, funds allocated for developmental projects, constitutionally budgeted funds for development. In insecure zones, they are not utilized, and those fund falls back into third pockets and not back into the government finance or budget office. So, and I decide, okay, I need to learn more about the public administration particularly focusing on areas that are insecure, areas ravaged with terrorism, what have you. So and that's how I find myself in Auburn doing Ph.D. in public administration and public policy. So my first Ph.D. was in international studies. Yeah.
And how are you finding it? Is it exciting?
Comparatively, this PhD has exposed me to new knowledge in terms of the practicalities that exist in US in terms of the literature, the heavy literature. It has immersed me in heavy literature that I haven't read before as compared to my previous program. So, and I would say, comparatively, both of them are worthwhile, doing, but, PhD at Auburn is highly comprehensive and a lot of reading that I have never, my first year was like, over there we have many courses that you can take, but here, one course is like, you are taking 5 courses in Africa, So those are my experience.
Yeah, I mean, Harrison, so be advised. You are getting free advice from Julius on how comprehensive the PhD program is. So just be advised. But I will come over to you now, Harrison. I mean, you had your undergrad at Auburn, Department of Political Science. You're now enrolled, or you are completing your MPA program, Department of Political Science, Auburn University. And you just mentioned that you will be pursuing a doctorate degree at the Department of Political Science, Auburn University.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, what actually is inspiring you, to continue in the Department of Political Science at Auburn University?
Well, for one, I have to shout out Dr. John Morris. For those of you who, I'm sure everybody here knows, Dr. Morris did the exact same thing that I'm hoping to do. He got all 3 degrees here. As well, and then he left for a few years, and now he's back. We love having him here. He's great. He's a great professor. So I'm taking a page out of his book. But in all reality, the political science department here, and honestly, just this community is one of the most welcoming communities. I changed residency from my home state to Auburn, Alabama, because I love it here. My home state is Florida, South Florida. Particularly Stewart or Palm City, but nobody knows where that is.
I only know Orlando.
So I'm 2 hours south of Orlando.
Okay.
So I'm like, deep south into Florida. But the main reason that I'm staying at Auburn that I hope to stay at Auburn, is the department and the faculty in the department. I love the faculty here. I think that, we have a multitude of ideologies and ideas, and we're not, stuck in one way. Even in the realm of, public administration, we have people that focus on environmental stuff. We have one of our new faculty members, Dr. O, does a lot of stuff with risk management. So I think that the department here really is all I could ever ask for in a political science department. And I'm not going to talk bad about other schools at all here in this statement, and that's not what this statement is about to be. But I do have friends that went to other universities and, did not enjoy their political science department. I'm not going to say they were like horror stories or anything, because I think that's a little too broad and not fair. But I can't say that I have had a bad experience in this department. So why would I want to leave?
And I mean, Auburn University is a very, very welcoming, community, for learning and, doing some brilliant and amazing academic work, So, but let me go off script a bit, and I hope my producer doesn't crucify me for this. So I want to ask you, Harrison, let's paint a scenario that you enroll into a PhD program, and at some point in life, would you take inspiration from Julius's resume to pursue
a second
doctorate?
That's a good question. I am interested in pursuing possibly a second master's degree in something else. So I have thought about that, particularly in theology, because if I do, one of the courses that I think I would like to teach at some point in my career would be religion and politics, a course that we do offer here, but it hasn't been offered for a few semesters. So hopefully it'll be offered again soon. So that's why I would want to pursue a master's of theology. But as far as a second PhD goes, I'd probably have to get through the first one. Because we're funded for 8 semesters here, so 4 years here. I'm hoping to, I want to try to. I know this is probably a pipe dream from somebody who has their PhD already. Yeah. I'm going to try to get it done in 3 years. We'll see how well that actually goes.
Hopefully.
But I think I have to get through my first PhD first.
And I agree with you.
But it is something that I have thought about, and something that is not off the table.
Yeah.
Because I do enjoy being a student as well. So.
Yeah. For me, like I think sometimes I tell friends that I would want to have another program, but not PhD, but masters. Masters. Yeah. Because knowledge is continuous, and within the 4 walls, classroom, conducive environment where knowledge is impacted, you find it more assimilating than if you, because you can say you can read online, but the structure, the rigor that you pass through is very important. So, and perhaps if I want to go further after this, it will be masters in international law, because there will always be knowledge gap in your field that you feel, okay, I want to learn more about this area, so I could be better positioned to do what I want to do. So, and it's not like a competition or title, I want to have this, I want to, no, it's born out of, there is a problem, there is a gap, which I need to fill.
Okay, guys, let's start unpacking, the topic, navigating graduate school as a teaching assistant or graduate research assistant. So I will ask the both of you, man. Anybody can, speak on the question. Yeah. Who is a TA or an RA? Like, what is it all about? For somebody who doesn't understand what a teaching assistant is or an RA is, what is it?
Well, for one, I'd say it depends on the professor, like what the professor will have you do. The first semester, I mainly just graded things and kept track of like attendance and did the administrative classroom things. Since then, I've been more involved in the classroom, had more opportunities to lecture, and it's been great. So I would say it really depends on what the
lecturer.
So does it mean that an RA or a TA is a student who supports a faculty member?
So let me go maybe basically RA, research assistant, TA, teaching assistant. So if you are enrolled into a PhD program, you have opportunity of assisting the faculty, and you'll be assigned, a professor or a lecturer that you do an RA for or a TA for, or if you wish and want to expand, you might not necessarily be specific in entirety focused on RA or TA. You might be doing both if you really want to expand your skill, your capacity. So the essence of RA is to position you in the field of research, how to conduct more research, and the objective of TA is to position you how to impact knowledge, transfer of knowledge to students. So it's one thing to have the knowledge, and also it's another thing to have a very good medium of transfer of knowledge. So, and these are why these two roles are very important for graduate students. And another third one is you could also be administrative assistant in the office, so doing clerical work. And so the four walls of the university is not just about research and teaching. So there are also administrative work that goes in. So you can even be helping your, professor, whoever you're assigned to, to send emails, to respond to R&R, from journals that have been submitted, to, arrange, his or her schedule, appointment, meetings, and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, as a TA or an RA, what's the first thing you do when you're assigned to a faculty member or a supervisor?
You have to reach out to them. At least here, you have to reach out to them. I'm not sure how it is in other places.
I'm sure it's a general standard. Yeah.
It's on you to reach out to that faculty member and let them know that you are their assistant in whatever capacity, and then they will tell you what they need you to do or what they want you to do. So that's the first thing.
Yeah, and basically you're reaching out, not hello. Yeah. You have to be highly intentional. Like, okay, you have been assigned to me. I'm reaching out to you. What are my expectations? Yeah. Okay. What are my responsibility? That I'll be doing. What are my expectations? How can I ensure I maximize the time that I'll be spending? Yeah. So you should have the professor have expectation of you. You should also have expectation what you expect to gain, from your role. So milestone, and also that should be featured in schedule a meeting and plan on how, because it makes it the semester smoother. So you already know what is demanded of you, so you don't overpour your time. Because time planning is very important.
Very key. So, because the graduate program it's a very intensive
tedious
program. So but do you get to develop your teaching materials? Maybe as a TA, do you get to develop teaching materials, or your supervisor or faculty that you are assigned to gives you those?
I always advise that you make contribution to maybe the syllabus. That's why you have to meet early. So this is the syllabus. So you part of, even apart from being a TA, students, I think the first week you are email the syllabus, and I've seen some professors, they would ask the student for feedback on the review. What do you think should be in this in this syllabus? What do you think what books or reading do you think is left out, or topic you think might be more interesting? So, and some lecturers use that as feedback for the next semester or even that semester. So as a TA, you could also, review, it's an opportunity for you to also say, okay, not in a condescending manner, not, so like you're trying to say, oh, what you've done is not good, but a positive, feedback. Okay, I think, this should be, can we add this? I think this is important. I think, the student might, love this. So it's constructive, and also it shows your, ability to be innovative, to contribute to, the topic, the subject that is being taught. So, I think, that is important.
So for students who are a bit curious about being TA or RA, and don't understand, they can't be able to picture the day-to-day, activities of what a TA does. Can you please walk us through the key responsibilities of a TA or an RA?
Okay. You want to start first?
For me, I show, even if I'm not lecturing, I show up to the class that I have been assigned to. Either sit in the back or sit in the front and, do some administrative work there, or pay attention to what's going on. Especially, I do most of the time pay attention to what is going on in the class, because when I do lecture, I try to maintain not the exact same style, because I do like to have my own kind of teaching style. But I try to keep it in the same well, it has to be in the same realm of information, obviously, but kind of in the same vein as the instructor of record. But then after that, I have office hours that I don't know if this is your experience, but I think students don't take advantage of office hours as much as they should. So I'm up there 4 hours total for the week, and then I also just check, consistently check email, keep track of attendance, kind of just do the background administrative work day to day is what I do. And then in addition to, I wanted to add on to what Julius was saying about like materials and whatnot. Something that I just did, I try to keep the supplemental things and things that I create around the material that is already assigned in class. So for instance, in political theory, something we talk about is like the cosmological order of things and how that affects political society. So I just created a little supplemental practical implications of a cosmological order chart for the students. And I looked at pagan cosmology, Greek rationalism, and then biblical cosmology. And I uploaded that to Canvas, and they can use it if they want. They don't have to, but I get it approved by the instructor of record beforehand and everything. But that would be an example of something that I do.
Yeah. So Julius, earlier you talked about teaching methods on how to deliver your lectures to the students. So are there specific methods that you have employed? How did you evaluate those methods to ensure that the students actually understand your teaching? I mean, this question can even go in two ways. So, and the second leg of it is how does the faculty also evaluate the work that you are doing as a TA, right? So the methods you're using to teach, how do you evaluate, and how does the faculty or the department also evaluate a teaching assistant or a research assistant?
Yeah, so I would say for those that are assigned TA, you need to make sure that for me, when I was assigned the first time, so that Julius Corner made me attend classes just like Harrison mentioned, every class. Yeah. So since I was TA, I've never missed. I've done 3 TAs and 3 RAs. Yeah. So, and my TAs, I don't miss going to, for the classes. So by that way, you get to know, the students. You get to know their name. So not just record, marking their, quizzes or exam. You need to know who you are scoring. What are their contribution in class? How do they speak? Also, you need to, because it will be tiring for you not to, attend the class, but now you are marking, exam or quizzes from that class. So you need to know, you need to have knowledge of what you are marking. And in graduate school, you don't have the luxury of time to start reading what the students, as in, you can just be in the class, understand what they are understanding as well, and also read what they are reading. But it will save you time than being on your own, not attending the classes and going to read, so you can understand. And, even if there are rubric, you still need to, you are human, you still need to understand what you are marking. So I think that is very important. So, and also regarding teaching, that acquaintance going to class, makes you know them. You keep tab of, one method is to group them, and, make them do, some exercise in class, and, periodically or subsequent quizzes or responses from those group exercise, you make sure that people that are responding to those answers are not those that have previously responded. So you have a sheet where you think, okay, this person has contributed. So the next time another member from that group needs to contribute. So kind of engagement. You make them feel part of like a sense
like a participatory kind of
exactly. So it's not just one way traffic whereby you just stand there and just pour out all what you have to. So you need to make it participatory, the class participation, and you need to keep it simple, and also don't just be boring. Try to crack some jokes. Try to make it fun. And don't just, for me, I don't just stand out there at the podium or at the front and all that. So I walk around as I teach. I walk around and all those things. And don't students, you don't have to overburden them with a lot of notes. Make it practical, make it relating. Bring real life or practical examples that they would easily understand. Relate it with their own experience. Examples that matches their own experience.
So let me just go off script again. I mean, you can choose to answer.
Then the second question, the evaluation. I haven't dealt with it.
Okay, please, just quickly.
Briefly. So, there is... Previously, I think it was not open at the Department of Political Science at Auburn University in terms of the system of, evaluating RAs and TA. But I think this last semester has been rolled out officially, open. But previously, there were, some sort of evaluation that, if you assign to someone, the person needs to say, oh, this is what this person did this semester, and I am satisfied with this person, or this person needs to work on this area and this area. But I think we were not getting that feedback. So it was just at the faculty level. But now with this new rolled out list, exactly. So you would know, you will be given a feedback on areas you need to improve on. Why we're not giving feedback previously is it's also because I've had my when I was doing TA or RA. So those feedback personally you get. Okay, you need to do this better. You need to do this. My first teaching. The professor said, just came into my ear, more volume. So those are still part of giving you tips on how you would better improve on yourself. So and regarding you have to self-evaluate. So now not you evaluating your professor, but you need to self-evaluate. That's why the start of the TA is very important. Self-assessment. What do I expect to gain from this semester or from this TA I'm doing? And at the end of the mid-semester, some targets, is it being met? At the end of the semester, the milestone that I set to achieve, was it achieved? And I think those is important to document such, so it will give you a basis for your next semester, what you need to improve on. Because if you don't document all these things and say, okay, these are what I need to do, then it becomes things are haphazard and not systematic.
Julius, let me take you. You shared quite a number of experiences, right? So how has these experiences actually impacted on your academic work and your career development?
For you mean experiences, which the RA or the TA?
Both. On both sides,
So the RA is very important, research assistant, because most of what you'll be doing in your studies will be literature review, reading of papers, your ability to also source relevant literature, and these are what RA will teach you. So ability to also review from those literatures that you've sought out, review the methodologies in those papers, because you don't just come up. If you are working on your own paper, you don't just come up with the method that you want to. You have to look at all the papers you have sought to use in your literature review. What are the methods that they have used in measuring? What is the conceptualization of the variables that is being measured and all those. So your ability to do that, like for me, the RA has positioned me in a way for me to better use my skills, when I'm doing my own, maybe class term paper or even paper that I would want to take to conferences, papers that I would want to publish. Yeah.
Okay, so I will switch over to you.
Okay.
Okay, so when you started working as a TA, what was the most surprising thing that you discovered about the job? It could be exciting experience. I mean, Julius shared his own exciting experiences. What are they could be exciting, they could be challenges, and how did you with the challenges, how did you solve them?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for me, and I think this is kind of universal because I've had some conversations with some full-time faculty about this too, is figuring out how to get students engaged with the material. Sometimes, especially students that might not be interested in political theory, that are just taking it because they have to take it to graduate or something like that, because every political science student has to, and every law and justice student has to here at Auburn. So I think the biggest challenge for me, especially when I am afforded the opportunity to lecture, is getting students engaged with the material.
Yeah.
Especially if, they, don't really care about it or something like that. So I like to... One thing that I found that kind of like loosens students up before class even starts is I'll try to get there a little early. If it's even better if there's no class in the classroom before, I'll get there early and I'll put music on, and I'll just let music play for like 10 to 15 minutes before class starts, and then maybe 5 minutes into class, depending on how much material we have to go over. And then the second thing I like to do is, I'm not familiar if you guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with something called Kahoot or not. Kahoot. It's kind of like a little...
Kahoot.
Kahoot.
Yeah, I know.
It was big when I was in middle school and high school. And so it's kind of just like a little quiz competition before class starts. Or before we start getting into the material. And it, college students still love Kahoot as much as high school students do. So I've started incorporating that into the classroom as well, because I found that it is an effective way to also loosen students up, get people more engaged in the material, get people to care about the material. And then the other thing I like to do is just ask questions throughout whatever lecture I'm giving. I don't like to stand up there for 50 minutes and just talk and talk and talk. I like to, because the learning process, for me at least, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
I learn sometimes just as much from the students as I did with sitting in class. So I think the Socratic method is a great way. And then the exciting experience just goes back to that first class that I got to lecture for. I was super nervous, but it was also just it was fun just getting thrown into it and not really knowing what to do, knowing what to expect. But from other people that I've talked to, that seems like it's been a lot of their first experiences as well, lecturing. So that was an exciting experience. Overall, I've loved this experience. I'm so grateful that I've been able to be a TA. And I, if I could go back and do it all again, I would.
Okay, so my producer has been beckoning on me that we've overshot our time, but that's how interesting the conversation can actually get. So I have just 2 more questions before we start winding down this episode. So I want to ask, as a TA or an RA, at what point do you strike a balance between your academic work and your TA? Like, how do you manage that process so that both ways don't suffer? They don't get to suffer.
I set aside certain days that I'm going to do my work. And then obviously, you know, it's hard with 2 in-person classes to do my own work those days, and then also having office hours those days. Like it's sometimes I'll do my own work during office hours because you know, like I said before, students don't always take advantage of it. Yeah. So during my office hours, I'll do some of my work, and then my Thursdays are completely free right now. So I set aside that whole day and I just do the majority of my work on Thursdays.
Okay.
Or the majority of my reading, because it's, as Julie said, it is a lot of reading. So for me, it's just, you know, setting out a schedule before the semester starts and saying, I'm going to do this work here and I'm going to do this work here.
Yeah. So time management, you know, planning ahead, and also, you know, because you can never, you know, complete, you know, you complete the task, but if you know what you're doing, like, even if you write this paper, next time you come to it, you'll be like, there is still things I want to add to improve on it. So your ability to know when additional improvement is already saturated, whatever you're going to put in, so that you don't waste your time. Like when you're doing RA, you keep on being like feeling like, oh, this is not perfect. And it will waste your time. So time management, dedicated number of hours, utilizing the hours officially assigned to the RA or GA, calculating that and make sure it is well spent is important. And it's not casted. You can spend above that, so, and it's okay. It's not as if you are going in for, I must spend exact 20 hours and because that's what I'm being stipend for. No, you are also improving yourself. So if you feel you've not done well on what your deliverable and you need extra hour from your own personal hour, why not? So, and the ability to balance your free time, because you need a lot of leisure, you need a lot of also off academic activities. So sometimes those are the challenges. This time it's into your own personal time, that you don't, but it's give and take. Sometimes you also eat into the normal time that you're meant to. So if you finish your work early and
Okay, so we're wrapping up now, and I will take your closing statements, but then I will start with you, Julius. I'll ask this question and I want you to respond and also bring in your closing statement, at this point. As an international student, what are the opportunities that the TA and research assistant position has presented to you, right?
So for me, my focus, it has expanded, my teaching skills. So the teaching skills I was used to back, in Kenya is different. It's one way. So just, instructor to student, but here you learn from the student. So, it's a two-way, and it is more of seminar participatory, so in class. So it's not just the lecturer and it's so. And so another thing, it has also given me, developed skills in terms of how to better conduct, research, use of, databases, access to databases, use of library resources, and how to better use them for, for your research. So I think, and also I've been in, conducting multiple, research now, which, my skills are being brought into how to use them for those papers that I want to take to conferences and
amazing,
publish them as well.
All right, thank you so much. Then Harrison, I'll come to you.
Okay.
I'll throw this question, then I expect to get your closing statement as well. So looking back, is there anything you wish you had known before becoming a TA that would have made the transition into graduate school smoother?
Anything that I wish I would have known?
That's a tough one. Huh?
Yeah, it is a tough one. I think it goes back to that first experience that I had lecturing. It was just like, I think I put so much pressure on myself before it that it just made me more nervous going into it than I should have been. And you know, one thing that I've realized since is that, you know, lecturing and just being in the classroom, having this many students, my public speaking skills, I think, have gotten so much better from it, and I'm super grateful for that. So if I knew that, you know, my public speaking was going to get better from this experience, I would have probably submitted my application for graduate school sooner, because you know, as somebody who you know may pursue politics one day. This is.
We hope to discuss it more on the podcast someday.
Yes,
right?
someday. Yeah. But you know, public speaking is something that I think is sorely lacking in a lot of people, and this experience has been great for that. But I think that the main thing that I wish I knew is that I didn't have to put as much pressure on myself to be, you know, the perfect lecturer the first time that I'm doing it, because you know, I should have known I'm going to mess up, I'm going to stumble over my words, I'm going to get that, you know, little adrenaline rush at the beginning for the, you know, for the first time. And then the other thing I think that I wish I knew is that I going into graduate school, I didn't think I was going to like research, which is why I, like, you know, asked to be a TA and am a TA, and I love being a TA, and I'm glad that I'm a TA. But I also, you know, in the little time that I do have outside of the work that I do for my classes and then the TA work, I realize that I also love research as well. So I've added that on as a little
which makes me, I would want to suggest, sorry to cut you short.
No.
Yeah, one semester I would also advise graduate students out there to sharpen your skills on both sides. You can speak to you know, the faculty that, okay, I want to, this semester I would like to be RA, next semester I want to be TA. So you alternate it
on both sides.
Exactly. That way you have
capacity.
both skills.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think those are the two things. And for anybody thinking about staying, you know, anybody who's listening to this who's a political science student or a law and justice student that's thinking about staying at Auburn for your graduate degree, do it. Like, it's only, if you play your cards right, it's only 3 semesters. You're going to gain invaluable skills, and you're going to get an extra degree. And at least 1 graduate certificate. And it's a great department. So anybody thinking about it, you know, come to Auburn, stay at Auburn. Auburn's MPA program is incredible, and the faculty and staff and the cohorts and the students, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I mean, that's a good place to bring the conversation to a wrap. Come to Auburn, stay at Auburn, and what again?
Never leave Auburn.
Okay, so I mean, this is a good place to leave the conversation. Thank you to Dr. Julius and Harrison,
Thank you
know, for gracing, you know, the podcast and agreeing to be the first guest, you know, that will be on this podcast series. And a big thank you also to the Department of Political Science for the support and encouragement they have given us, you know, to launch this podcast series. And to our audience, we are here because you listen to us and you watch us, continue to watch us and support us. We are open to feedbacks and, you know, improving the podcast series. So shout out to everyone and a very big thank you to
Thank
all
you,
of
Austin.
you. Thank
War
you so
Eagle.
much.
War Eagle.